Hey guys, it's John here. Welcome back to my channel where I explore the microcosmos of sea monkeys and other instant pets. In today's video, I'll be going over my top 5 tips for raising and looking after a colony of healthy adult sea monkeys, just like you can see in this tank here. Keeping sea monkeys as pets has been a hobby of mine for a few years now, though it took me quite a few tries and a lot of experimenting to eventually figure out the secrets to their success. So I'm looking forward to sharing this knowledge with you today, so that your sea monkey colony can thrive too. I often receive questions from people who are having trouble keeping their sea monkeys alive, especially in the first 2 weeks after they've hatched, so I hope today's video will also help to fix a lot of these common issues. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video too, to find out how you can win one of these free sea monkey ocean zoo tanks that I'll be giving away to one lucky viewer. In nature, brine shrimp live in salty ephemeral pools and lakes, withstanding all of the immense stresses that come with a natural and wild environment. If sea monkeys are so hardy, why on earth is it so dang difficult to keep these little guys alive in the comfortable and controlled environment of our homes? Well, the truth is, we simply have to try and do a better job of replicating their natural environment if we want them to thrive in the tanks we keep them in. Here are the 5 tips I'll be covering today. Temperature. I'll talk about this one first because I believe it's the most important thing to get right, and also one of the most common mistakes I see with those who struggle to keep newly hatched babies alive. The second is light. This is closely tied to temperature regulation, but is also related to promoting the growth of phytoplankton in your sea monkey tank, which you'll soon find out is very important. The next is food. Feeding is probably one of the most difficult parts to get right, especially early on, so I'll be covering this tip in a fair amount of detail so there's no ambiguity. Aeration. So aerating your sea monkey tanks is definitely important, but not really for the reason you might think. Most people believe it's useful for oxygenating the water, and this is true, but there's another reason to aerate your tank that I believe is even more critical. I'll finish off with some tank maintenance. This isn't really one specific tip, but a whole bunch of small things I recommend you do to keep your tank nice and healthy. Make sure to let me know down in the comments if you guys have any additional tips that you think could help out the sea monkey community. So, let's get underway. Temperature. Sea monkeys do best in warm temperatures. 26 degrees or 79 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal, but anywhere in the range of 20 to 30 degrees will work. What's more important is that whatever temperature your tank is at, it remains stable. Fast fluctuations in temperature are what will cause your sea monkeys a lot of stress, and it's one of the main reasons why a lot of them pass away soon after hatching. I live in New Zealand, and the climate here is great for sea monkeys in the summertime, but during the rest of the year it's much too cold, especially at night when the temperature of my house drops below 20 degrees Celsius. Fortunately, there's a solution, and that's using a heat source for your tank. I actually recommend using a heater with a thermostat for your tank year round, as it helps to keep the temperature stable and also in the optimum range. One of the problems with sea monkey tanks though is that they're usually quite small, far too small for most submersible aquarium heaters, but I did find this one recently which I've been really impressed with, and it's small enough to fit into an ocean zoo or ocean volcano tank. You can find a full unboxing and review of this USB powered heater on my YouTube channel here. What I do recommend you use though is a heat mat. These are usually sold as under tank heat pads to reptile enclosures or to keep plant seedlings warm, but they also do a great job at regulating the temperature of small brine shrimp tanks. The one I use came with a thermostat and temperature probe. It allows me to choose the temperature I want, and when the probe gets too hot or too cold, the heat mat will turn on or off accordingly. It's a method I've been using for over a year now with great success. I'll drop an Amazon affiliate link in the description for anyone interested in getting either the USB heater or heat mat. My next tip is about light. Sea monkeys need some kind of light source, whether that's natural sunlight or artificial light from a lamp, and this is why the placement of your tank is really important to think about. My advice is that you place your tank on a windowsill that doesn't receive any direct sunlight. This is so your tank will still receive an abundance of natural light without the fast temperature fluctuations that come with warm direct sunlight flooding the tank. Natural light is also the best way to get green microalgae to grow in your tank. Most aquarium owners try to avoid algae growth, but those of us that keep sea monkeys absolutely love it. In their natural environment, brine shrimp feed almost exclusively on live microalgae. They're microscopic organisms that photosynthesize light, just like plants do, to get their energy. And so getting a nice culture of this growing in your tank is one of the best ways to make sure your colony is nice and healthy. You don't have to worry about adding algae into your aquarium. It will just appear there naturally given enough time. I found it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to start growing. If you don't have a suitable windowsill, I advise getting yourself either a strong table lamp, or even better, some purple grow lights. Grow lights give off the optimum wavelength that helps algae photosynthesize and replicate, so that's why I use them for lots of my sea monkey tanks. I also like the idea of trying to mimic their natural environment. That's why I usually turn these lights off during the hours that I'm asleep, and then switch them back on again once I'm out of bed in the morning. I recommend keeping the lamp on for around 16 hours a day, and if they're on a windowsill, it's fine for them to just follow the natural day and night cycle of the sun. I mentioned earlier that feeding your sea monkeys is a bit of a contentious topic. This is because the instruction manuals that come with brine shrimp kits like to keep everything nice and simple by giving you an easy to follow feeding guide, such as only giving them a small amount of food once per week. The reality is that feeding is much more nuanced than that. The amount and frequency that you feed your sea monkeys will change over time and depends on many variables, such as how many you have, how large they are, and how much green algae you have growing in their tank. As a general rule, it's better to feed them less than you think you should, as it's much easier to accidentally overfeed your sea monkeys rather than underfeed them. This is the feeding spoon that comes with sea monkey kits, and it's a great tool for feeding and measuring out food. My advice is this: when your sea monkeys first hatch, feed them for the first time around day 3 or 4, but only a very small amount. A quarter or 1/3 of a scoop here is more than enough. I like to continue with these micro feedings every few days, rather than doing a larger one once per week. The sea monkey food in these packets is basically just dried microalgae. This microalgae isn't alive though, which means that if it's sitting in the tank uneaten for too long, it'll begin to rot, which will allow the growth of harmful bacteria in your tank. This is why I also suggest that when feeding your sea monkeys, you evenly spread out the growth food in a thin layer on the water's surface, rather than dumping it into the tank all at once in a single clump. This will allow your sea monkeys to easily consume the food from the top of the tank. There are two main signs I use to know if it's necessary to feed my sea monkeys. If their water is looking a little cloudy, it means they've probably got plenty of food in their tank, and don't need to be fed again until the water clears up. The second guide I follow is looking at the sea monkeys themselves. If they have a nice dark line down their gut, and I can see at least one of the individuals pooping, it's another good sign that there's plenty of food in the tank, and I'll hold off feeding them again until regular pooping stops. If you run out of sea monkey food, you can always purchase more from the sea monkey website, or buy some dried algae powders, such as astaxanthin or spirulina. Next up we have aeration. Like all crustaceans, sea monkeys need oxygen in their water to breathe, and so adding air into their tank from time to time is essential. The most important thing is simply disturbing the water's surface. This will allow oxygen to naturally dissolve into the tank. There are a few low budget ways to do this. You can blow into a straw to create some bubbles. Just make sure you don't accidentally suck up any of the water, or the sea monkeys. Another way, and one of my favourites, is using a pipette or sea monkey aqua leash like this. Simply dip it into the tank, squeeze down to create some bubbles, then remove it from the tank, release the pipette, and repeat the process as many times as you like. Doing this once a day is plenty, and don't worry about adding too much oxygen, because that's not really possible. And it doesn't matter if you miss a day here or there either. Your sea monkeys will still be fine, even if you forget to do it for a whole week. The Sea Monkey brand used to also sell this. It's called a million bubble air pump, and is basically an aqua leash with a modified tip to add even more small bubbles into the tank. It's really fun to use and my favourite tool to aerate. Now, if you want to take things up a notch, and really this is what I recommend you do, is to add an air line from an air pump into the tank that you leave on 24/7. The reason for this, because the most important thing about an air line is not so much the addition of oxygen, but rather how it keeps the water perpetually circulating. Brine shrimp are filter feeders, meaning that eating isn't really a conscious act for them, but rather something they do passively. Adult sea monkeys are able to scrape green algae off of surfaces where it grows, using their large and strong thoracopods. But the small babies and adolescents can't do this. Instead, they rely on consuming particles suspended in the water column. I think you can see where I'm probably going with this. An airline will prevent food particles and algae from resting at the bottom of the tank, and will instead keep them in suspension, so it's easier for the young ones to eat, increasing their chances of survival while competing with the much more capable adults for food. It will also prevent food particles from being left uneaten, which would otherwise rot in the tank and allow the growth of harmful bacteria. You don't need a strong airline, especially since your tank is likely very small. I'd recommend getting a control valve like this, that will allow you to control the amount of air that goes into your tank. I like using an air stone too, because they create smaller bubbles and they're a good surface for algae to grow on, but it's not really necessary to use one. Just a regular airline slowly bubbling away will do the trick too. Something else I've noticed since using an air pump is that the water from the tank evaporates considerably faster than it usually would if I weren't using one. This has the downside of meaning you need to top up the tank's water more often, but I think it's great for the health of the tank and your sea monkey colony to be adding clean fresh water into the aquarium on a regular basis. Now to finish off with some tank maintenance. As I mentioned, water will naturally evaporate from your tank over time. This is completely normal and nothing to worry about. Luckily, most of the salt in the water won't evaporate, so all you have to do is periodically top it back up to the waterline with fresh distilled or bottled spring water. If well cared for, each of your sea monkeys can live for up to 4 months, but it's only normal that they'll pass away from time to time. If you do spot a dead one in the tank, it's up to you whether you remove it or not. I personally remove deceased males to lower the amount of nitrates and ammonia in the tank, but I will usually leave females in there, especially those that are pregnant, as the eggs contained within their sac may still hatch after their body is broken down. My last tip for today is about rearing babies. Those of you who have kept sea monkeys as pets before will know that raising the first generation isn't too difficult, but the second generation of babies born into your tank often don't make it to adulthood. There are multiple reasons for this, but the main takeaway is that they struggle to compete with the adults to get food. One approach that some brine shrimp keepers take is having a nursery tank. This is basically a secondary colony which is only for rearing young. When you see new hatchlings in your tank, you can simply pick them up with a pipette and drop them into the nursery for a week or two while they grow, and then return them back into their main tank. This is a bit of extra work, but it's also a technique that in my experience works really well. I'm sure you're probably now wondering where you can find a few of these sea monkey tank accessories that I mentioned today. I've created some convenient Amazon lists with all of the items I talked about in this video down in the description, from the heat pads and purple grow lights to some cheap USB powered air pumps and the mini aquarium heaters too. Any purchases made through this affiliate link will give me a tiny commission that really helps out the channel and will allow me to continue to make content like this for you guys in the future. I'll do my best to answer any of your sea monkey questions down in the comments too, so feel free to ask about anything you're unsure about. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I'll be giving away one of these 3 Sea Monkey Ocean Zoo tanks to one lucky viewer. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is leave a comment on this video and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'll announce the winner in 3 weeks from now on my Instagram account and get in touch with the winner here on YouTube. I'll let you choose which colour tank you'd like to. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I have plenty more Sea Monkey content coming in the near future, such as an unboxing and review of the Sea Monkey Space Shuttle Expedition tank and this vintage Sea Monkey Speedway racetrack, so look out for those soon, and I'll see you on the next one.